Elon Musk's doggy scam was exposed for the massive, intentional financial fraud that it was last week. But if you're MAGA, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. What are you alluding to? What do you mean financial fraud? Well, see, the issue is that you generally don't watch the damage report. You watch Fox News, you watch right-wing media, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that you stay ignorant, both on this topic and in general. But specifically on this topic, I'm referencing this story, which was reported. You had Media Matters, you had Yahoo News, others. The IRS is bracing for a $500 billion drop in revenue as taxpayers skip filing their taxes in the wake of doggy cuts at the IRS. That is based on what experts inside of the IRS is saying. It's not Keith Olbermann says it's going to be $500 billion drop in revenue because of the doggy cuts at the IRS. This is a massive bombshell report, and it proves that in just this first year alone, the American like the revenue that the government has is going to drop by many times what all of the savings doggy can potentially get from other areas. They're not real savings, but even if we were pretending that they were, they're going to be utterly swamped by the losses from this. And because that drop is going to continue year after year after year, this is a promise of the loss of trillions of dollars. And so maybe I'm a nerd or whatever, but I kind of feel like that's something we should be talking about. Unfortunately, many of you who are MAGA don't know anything about this topic because Fox is utterly ignoring it. You are not allowed to talk about this on the air. They have utterly ignored it. And by the way, they have shown that they can talk about doggy, they can talk about finances. When doggy says, hey, we saved you $1 billion, oh, they pack the airwaves with it. Then when it's revealed that it wasn't $1 billion, it was $10 million and whatever, it's not really a savings, they don't talk about that either, but at least they broach the subject. In this case though, literally nothing. Media Matters did an analysis. They had from March 22nd to 27th, there was nothing on Fox News or Fox Business that the government is going to be in the hole $500 billion a year thanks to Elon Musk. And so I kind of think that's important because we have all this myth making about fiscal sanity and waste, fraud, and abuse. I don't know if there has ever been an economic wound delivered to the American government like we're seeing from doggy right now, Jackson. What do you make of this story?
I mean, Elon Musk's collapse, unfortunately, is something that all of America has to go through as well. Like his narcissistic collapse and his mortification process that he's going through. We have to go through it too. I mean, this dude was on TV like crying about Tim Walz, as I'm sure you talked about on here already. Like he was like, what a creep, what a jerk. Like this, again, because he has no intuition and no self-awareness, he really feels as if these people are jerks. Elon Musk is a untreated drug addict who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and for decades has been lying. In 6 months, Tesla's gonna be able to, drive a car to the moon, and you'll be able to make $30,000 in your sleep a year. And it never happens because he's just a fraud. So all of it's like collapsing down. And he's like, everybody's being so mean to me. And then Donald Trump brings him out, and then they have in front of the White House, like, go buy a Tesla. And then, but it's just like they're causing like serious damage to the fabric and foundations of this country. You got $500 billion a year, all these people who are getting fired, all these programs that are getting damaged. This is gonna have ripple effects with millions of people. Like millions of people. People don't get their Social Security checks. Medicaid gets defunded by as much as they're trying to get it defunded by. People are gonna die.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to trace these things back to missed payments and unfunded this and unfunded that. Like, I mean, there's a big cultural festival in St. Louis that they have every single year. Probably ain't gonna happen this year unless we can get corporate sponsors for it because the funding's dried up. Like these people are drying up so much of what happens in this country, but we supposed to just be cool with it,
Yeah.
But no,
yeah, you're totally
people
right.
can't ignore it.
Yeah, like the damage report loves doing those stories of like, hey, comprehensive study shows that 15% more people died over the last. But I don't want to do that. I want to stop that from happening if it's possible. That's why we're talking about this right now. We don't want people to have their social security checks taken away from them. We don't want them to lose access to food stamps or get booted off of Medicaid because they don't have the funding anymore. And we find out that in red states, a whole bunch more people died because they refused. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, most of the people that are going to be affected by this probably don't agree with us. They probably despise us, but I don't want them to face financial ruin. I don't want their families to be destroyed. I don't want them to suffer or die. But we've been put in this bizarre situation where none of the people they look to and trust seem to care at all about the calamities that they're barreling towards. So the entire thing is utterly frustrating. This story needs to be discussed because everything else about Doggy is a waste of time and a distraction. This is the story.